What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about the cheapest and safest way to get your Amazon barcode. This is important if you want to list your product properly and also, avoid any type of suspension or product listings getting taken down. This is also very important if you ever want to brand your product, because if you don't have the right UPC or you don't do it in the correct manner, you're not going to be able to get brand registered down the line. There's also a price factor when it comes to UPCs and Amazon barcodes. This is important because we want barcodes that are affordable. We don't want to overpay this business, especially if you're just starting. You don't want to overpay for things because things add up so fast. You also don't want to be in a situation where you're paying for, annual fees and paying hundreds per year for a product that you might not sell for that long. So I want to talk about, how to save hundreds here essentially and pick the right barcode, get the best pricing and everything like that. All right, guys, so not wasting any time here, just hopping right into it. I first want to explain, what is an Amazon barcode? What's a UPC? And why does this matter to me as an Amazon seller? So it's important to know. So just, looking right at it, going right into it. This is a UPC here on my screen. What this is it goes on products. So say you're at Walmart, say you're at Target, wherever you might be. If you grab a product from the shelf, there's going to be a UPC on the back of that. Now this is important for them to be able to track, like, where is this product coming from, what brand this is, quickly track inventory throughout the store. If one gets purchased at the counter, they know there's one less in their inventory. This is also good for making sure that competitors or people, putting out fake products aren't getting away with this as well. So it helps kind of track all the products across the globe and be more organized with this. So why we need a UPC for Amazon is this is what they require for us to register a product on the back end of their system. So if I go over here, we can see on Amazon Seller Central. So when you go to make a product, you can see the first thing that asks here is for a product ID. And we can go down and select UPC. And then we can get one of these UPCs, which I'll show you exactly how to get the best deal in the safest manner. And then you go ahead and plug that UPC in here to make sure Amazon knows it's a real product. If you don't have a UPC, then you cannot list your product on Amazon. This is like their barrier of entry to be like, hey, they have a real product. It's good to go here. And to quickly cover just a few more things here so you kind of understand the whole realm of barcodes a little bit more, you could be asking me, well, Cameron, what are all these options here? Could I have, more than one option? Well, ASIN is like Amazon's barcode for their warehouse. So if you're just listing a product, you won't have this. So don't worry about this. But if it's an existing product, this is an option. UPC is what we're going to be working with. I wouldn't make it any harder than that. Again, this is just for educational purpose. So you better understand things. GCID, I'm going to be honest with you, I have zero idea what that is. I've never dealt with it and I'm not going to deal with it. EAN is the European article number, I believe it stands for. All this is a European UPC. So if you're in Europe, they use the EIN or EAN. Am I saying that right? Maybe. But this is how they keep track of products in Europe. A GTIN, GTIN here, is it's a big umbrella number. So when you go get your UPC, you also get your GTIN. So you can use that interchangeably depending on what you want to use. Again, just make it simple. Use the UPC. There's just no GTIN is you can have a bigger number here that covers EIN and UPCs underneath that. So it's pretty much just a global identifier if you don't want to mess with the terms EIN or UPC. Okay, so this is why it's important to figure out how UPCs work and which ones to use. So next I want to talk about what happens when you use the wrong barcodes or you just make a mistake back there. So what's going to happen is when you put your UPC in there and go to save that product and put your product up on Amazon, you're going to get there's going to be 5 to 10 different error codes you can get. Okay, and the video would be too long to go through each one of these. Just know that if UPC is wrong, you're going to get an error code. You're not going to be able to list your product on there. So let's just ignore the error codes that you're going to get with this bad UPC. Say it's good, it lets you go through, okay? Because Amazon's not perfect, they sometimes miss some stuff. When you go to list your brand name, which is important if you want to do private label and start a brand of your own, what's going to happen here is you're going to get another error code. Say you got brand approval, which is a whole other topic. You can go through my channel and figure that one out. But say you got brand approval for your product, which just in simple terms, you're approved to list that product underneath that brand name. Well, if that brand name you put in there isn't attached to that UPC, you're going to get another error code and it's not going to allow you to list that brand name on Amazon. Now this is super annoying, right? Because it's like, how do I attach that brand name to the UPC? I'll get into this. It's very important because if you want to have a brand on Amazon, say you don't care about a brand right now, 6 months from now. But if you ever want to get that brand onto Amazon, a year, 2, 3 years down the road, it's important to fix this now because it's almost impossible to fix it down the road and later. This will also prevent you from getting brand registered. So if you want to take your product to the next level, you can't get brand registered unless that product's underneath that brand and the UPC is attached to that brand. So say you're like, Cameron, I don't care about a brand. Well, then you have to list the product generically. So if you list the product generically, which all you're doing in the brand name is putting the word generic here, you're going to open yourself up to hijackers, people taking over your listing, people selling counterfeit products on your listing just because it's so easy when there's no brand name on that listing. So no, that's the consequences if you don't do this right. Get a brand name on there and everything like that. Next, I want to talk about what a bad barcode looks like. Okay, so you may have watched a couple other YouTube videos. You may have some ideas in your head of where to get your UPC. Well, this is where people go wrong. So this is, Barcodes Mania, and then I'm also on Nationwide Barcodes right here. Now the appeal of these sites are barcodes or UPCs are so cheap. They're very cheap. So you get one right here for $4.99, right? That's fantastic. There's no annual fees. There's no membership fees, anything like that. You can buy it. Same thing here with Nationwide Barcodes. We're looking at it, $12 for one. You can get 25 for, $2.25 a pop, 10,000 for 14 cents a pop. Why these are bad and where people get into trouble is that these barcodes are recycled. They're used from old products that are not in existence anymore, that have old brand names, old product names, old company names tied to these barcodes. Now, what happens is Amazon now, this is just why people were using this in the past is because Amazon just updated their system to actually check the database to these barcodes to see what the brand name is, see what the manufacturer was, and everything like that. So in the last year now, these do not work anymore just because Amazon's checking that database. So when they go to pull that brand name in your UPC, they're looking at the database there on Amazon and they see a different brand name than your listing. That's where you get those errors. That's where you're going to get those issues, with moving on, getting your listing all good to go there, eventually getting brand registered, everything like that. So these are recycled. These are what they call third-party barcodes. These are bad. These are people just kind of like plucking old products, making giant Excel sheets with their UPC codes and reselling them just to make a quick buck. So that's what a bad barcode looks like. There's obviously a lot more sites than this. Nationwide Barcode is one popular one. Barcodes Mania, also another popular one. Now I want to tell you which barcode to actually use and how to get the best pricing for that barcode. So what you guys have all been waiting for here, but everything else in the past this video was super important to understand for why this is important to use this type of barcode here. So we're on the GS1 US website. So what this is, GS1 is a company, it's a nonprofit. They're pretty much the ones who invented the UPC, the barcode. So they're like the global standard, which is what GS stands for, GS1, Global Standard 1. So this is what this is. This is a nonprofit barcode company. Now, why people in the past have not used GS1 compared to Nationwide Barcodes and Barcodes Mania is that they are freaking expensive. Okay, so we go down here, number of items needed to barcode GTIN. So just GTIN, just so you know, just think that as a UPC. It's just a little bit longer of a code, but it's the same thing as a UPC and everything like that. So you can interchange UPC and GTIN here in your mind. But we see here to get 10 UPCs, the initial fee is $250. So I think one we could have got for $4.99, right? And there's an annual renewal fee of $50 per year. So, you might be saying like, I don't need 10. I don't want to pay $250. I don't know. This is just a side hustle for me. I don't want to spend this money. I don't want to be on the hook for a $50 annual fee, per year. But this is super important to have a GS1 UPC because as of now, Amazon does not take anything else, okay? So the validity of a product ID, I'm not sure if I said that right there, but if you watch the channel long enough, you'll understand that I'm not good with words. Anyways, guys, of a product idea is checked against the GS1, GPeer, and ISBN databases. If your product ID is not registered with GS1, so this company right here, then the linked ASIN will be suppressed and it may result in removal of your product creation and privileges, okay? So we're pretty much stuck using GS1 right now and it sucks because it's expensive. Well, I just got off the phone with these guys last week. We did a conference call. They wanted to update me on kind of the new things they were doing. So they put in place, if we go down here, instead of just paying for 10 here, we can get a single GTIN. Okay, so again, to replace this with UPC. Why this is cool to get a single one is because there's no annual fee and it's only 30 bucks for one. So now we can try this product out for 30 bucks, no annual fee, get our product going, get the proper UPC so we're not banned from Amazon listing products, and we can actually list the product properly. What happens in the back end of here is that your brand name will be attached to that UPC now. So when Amazon goes and pulls from the database, they can actually see that brand name. Everything's going to link up and you can put that product on there properly. Also, these UPCs work for any country. This is a global thing. So if you're in Australia, Europe, Canada, your UPC will be valid there. So if they don't offer this, we see right here, if we go up gs1us.org here. So this is the US website. So you may be trying to get one from the Australian website or the European website, Canadian website, whatever it may be. Well, you can quickly just go to the US website. If they're not offering this single UPC package, get it in the US, pay the $30, and your UPC is good for any country, any Amazon marketplace, and you're all set there. Now, one last thing here, guys. So when I did talk to them, they were putting things in place for Amazon sellers just because they know how big of a hassle this is. They've been trying to figure it out. Again, they're a nonprofit. They're just here to help, right? So they were super genuine. They're awesome people. And what they did, they put a support system in place right here. So what we can do is we can send this to them to info@gs1.org. If we're having any issues with Amazon, we're getting errors with our GS1. Say we bought the GS1, right? We bought the UPC from GS1, but we're still getting errors on Amazon. Well, we can send a case into GS1 and ask them what's going on, what they may think the issue is. They can check their database, and then they can come back to you and say, hey, it's not on our end. You should check with Amazon referring to this type of issue or this type of problem, and this is most likely what it is. So we can get some additional help on top of seller support because we know how bad seller support is. It is pretty bad. Anyways, guys, I will go ahead and put this in a link down below if you guys need it. If I forget, remind me in the comments, please. Otherwise, this is the only UPC you should be using, the gs1.us. If they have in other marketplaces, fine, but the GS1 barcode, that's the only one you're not going to have issues with. You can, get brand registered down the future. You're not going to have any brand errors. Amazon can properly pull it from their database because, like I said, that's the only database they're pulling from, and you can go ahead and do this without any hiccups. And now you have an affordable option to do this without it being $250 and have 10 barcodes and then have an annual fee. So I hope this really helps you guys out. If you know other Amazon sellers just getting started, make sure you share this with them because this is super important to know. They can't get past listing a product without knowing this. What I'm going to do at the end of this video too, I'm going to pop up on my screen here some other videos about how to list a product, and there's a lot to that as well, right? This is one step of it, the UPC, but there's other things like getting a brand approval, which I brought up a few times in this video. So I'll put those on the screen. Also with a video of how to list your product from A to B, or I should say A to Z, all right? But how to list it, it's me on my back end on my screen showing you how to list the product, exactly going through every single field that I showed you on the screen here and what to do with that, okay? So I hope this was helpful. Again, share it with someone else. You can tap that like button for me if you'd like. Of course, subscribe, guys. Amazon changes all the time, so you need to stay up to date. You need to stay tapped in, and this is what this channel is for. So make sure you subscribe as well. Otherwise, guys, that's it, and I hope I really helped you out.